Today I'm sharing a quick backyard orchard and garden tour of everything I'm growing right now here in Zone 10B in Orange County, California. I might be a little crazy because I'm growing over 50 different fruit varieties including mangoes, peaches, grapes, raspberries, dragonfruit, blueberries, and so much more. What can I say? I'm fresh fruit obsessed and I love sharing my harvests with friends, family, and neighbors. Let's start with my ginger cart. I decided on a whim to plant some ginger that I bought from my local market just to see how it would grow. As you can see, it really loves this current spot. If you know me, you know I love ginger. I love using it in recipes, in tea, and in smoothies. It has anti-inflammatory properties too, and I really just love the sweetness and the spicy taste. I'm looking forward to harvesting this ginger soon and putting it to good use, so I'll definitely do a future video about this. Stay tuned. Here is our fern pine privacy hedge. We recently redid our fence because it was really run down and it just needed to be replaced. And then we decided we wanted a little privacy between us and our neighbors. It's nice to have this privacy in our backyard whenever there are yard projects going on. Moving on to our planter here, this is our ice cream bean tree. We recently purchased this and we're still figuring out exactly where to plant it in the ground. And right next to the ice cream bean, we're growing some blackberries and olallieberries. These vines have grown quickly, and the berries they produce are sun-ripened, super sweet, and a real treat to enjoy. The neighboring plant to our berries is catnip, and this isn't just a small amount of catnip, this is a full-on catnip patch. The stray cats that come into our yard absolutely love this catnip. If you want to see footage I caught on camera of these cats reacting to our catnip, you can watch the video in the top right hand corner of the screen here, and I'll add it to the video description box. Here we have our peppers. We specifically grew this type of pepper from seed in order to potentially make pepperoncinis, since those are one of our family's favorite pickled peppers. This has been a fun experiment to grow this year. There are a few other peppers coming in on this plant, so we'll see how many we end up getting. I'm also growing 6 different varieties of tomatoes. I'm the tomato lover in the family, and I really love cherry tomatoes. I like how they're so easy to just pop in your mouth and eat while you're out in the garden, and I've been enjoying at least a handful of these every day recently. Next to my tomato plants, there are quite a few interesting things going on. First of all, down here we have a volunteer watermelon vine. Earlier this year, my husband buried some compost that contained watermelon seeds in this area of the yard, and what do you know, a volunteer vine we weren't planning on sprung up and it kind of took over our passionfruit trellis along the fence. Right in front here, we have some dragonfruit growing on a homemade structure we built, and the intention is for the dragonfruit to grow over the top of the structure here and then cascade down while it's still supported by the wood. This watermelon on the volunteer vine here looks pretty good. I recently harvested a ripe watermelon and used it to make wellness shots and a watermelon mocktail. I did a whole video about that process, which I'll link on the screen here. Moving on, as you can see, a passionfruit vine is growing right next to the watermelon. We love passionfruit and can't wait to harvest some later this year. In this section of our yard, we have our kiwi arch. This has been fun to watch the kiwi vines grow up the arch so far, and under the arch, we have 2 half barrels that we're using to grow some raspberries. In our yard, raspberries seem to really appreciate the partial shade that the kiwi arch provides over the hot summer months. We've also been experimenting with propagating or multiplying certain plants that we like or that we have extras of. Here's a little banana pup that we harvested from our banana tree. And here we've packed a lot of things into a fairly small space. We have 3 half barrels we're using to grow blueberries, a grapevine that we're still finding a permanent home for, and over here we have some golden raspberries. These are really unique and they're harder to find in the store, so we decided to grow our own. I am so glad we did because these taste amazing. This is our little strawberry tree, and next to it is a baby fig tree. And over here are 3 small apricot trees that were growing from seed. And next to the apricots, we have 2 pineapples. These have been an interesting experiment to grow. In this section of the garden, we're growing carnivorous plants in a raised cart. This has really been a passion project for my husband, and it's been interesting to learn more about all of the different carnivorous plant varieties that exist. There are 3 more varieties of blueberries growing over here, along with an Italian stone pine tree. So this tree was a gift that came in a little small container to us a couple Christmases ago, and we've upgraded it to a bigger container, but it just keeps getting larger and larger. Moving on to our mangoes. We are growing a few different varieties of mangoes, both in containers and in the ground. We're currently experimenting with grafting different kinds of mangoes and learning more about everything that process entails. We have a white nectarine and white peach tree here that we harvested some amazing fruit from last season. And then we have our banana trees, which make quite the statement in this area of our garden. These trees are about 2 years old, so we're expecting some fruit soon. I'll keep you posted. I know some experts recommend only leaving 1 or 2 banana pups alongside the main banana tree, but we've just been letting them grow freely for the most part this year. In this section, we have some Jaboticaba and Jamaican cherry trees growing. Our family loves stone fruit, so we decided to plant a little orchard in this part of our lawn full of peach, plum, pluot, and pluerry trees. Our cat Piper wanted to say hi, so here she is in our window. Below the window, we have a little boxwood hedge, which I love to use for making wreaths and other decor. Here is a miscellaneous planter cart where we're currently growing some strawberries and a couple baby fruit trees in containers. Over here is our milkweed planter, which has been kind of like a science project. We've enjoyed seeing an abundance of monarch butterflies in our yard. We watch them lay eggs that turn into caterpillars, then we see them form a chrysalis, and then eventually they transform into beautiful butterflies. Now moving on to the sloped area of the yard. This is where we have most of our grapevines and a lot of our orchard of fruit trees. We have some lavender and more banana pups right here in some containers. And starting out on the left of the slope, we have 3 grapevines planted along our fence and 3 citrus trees, a lemon tree in front and 2 different orange tree varieties above it. I have a little mini herb garden here, which I use often. It has some rosemary, oregano, chives, thyme, sage, and some basil. Above the herb garden to the left is a tangerine tree, a caracara orange tree, and a tangelo tree. And then in the middle row, we have a lamb-haas avocado, then a fuerte, and a reed avocado tree at the top of the slope in this row. And along the back fence, there are more grapevines. We're growing lots of different grape varieties in our yard. Some have produced for us already, and some we're still waiting on, but you just can't beat the taste of homegrown, sun-ripened grapes straight off the vine. Right here, we have a few grapevine cuttings that we propagated. We're not quite sure what to do with them yet, but we'll figure out something. We also have some extra herbs, some rosemary, some lavender, and citronella just chilling on our retaining wall here. And here is Bert. Bert is our garden owl who loves to judge us for all the crazy choices we make in our garden. Behind him, we have 2 cherry trees, a Royal Crimson and a Royal Lee. They're both red varieties, and we harvested some Royal Lee cherries last year, which was a treat. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these trees produce for us this year. The row here, a little bit to the right of the camera, has a burgundy plum tree at the bottom, and a double delight nectarine tree in the middle, and a tropic gold apricot tree at the very top. The burgundy plum tree has done really well for us, especially this last year, and the fruit are such a beautiful, deep, dark purple color. Here we have some mint, grown in a container of course, so it doesn't spread and go crazy throughout our yard. And then we have a little lavender there on the other side, as well as some citronella in these containers. I should mention we left about 6 feet of space in between most of our trees on the slope when we planted them. But we're constantly debating whether or not we could add more trees here. We love fresh fruit, so we might just do it. This is our desert gold peach tree, and it's our most prolific producer of peaches. And this other owl is Birdie. Like Bert, she keeps an eye on us in the garden. Our family likes peaches so much that we planted 2 more peach trees in this row. So we have the desert gold up front, a red barren tree in the middle, and a Florida Prince peach tree in the back of this row. If you look closely, you can also see more grapevines along our back fence. Here is the last row of trees on our slope, and the tree in the front is our Hass avocado tree. Then we have 3 mango varieties in the middle, followed by a spicy nectarplum tree up at the very top. And we have 4 grapevines that wrap around the right side of our slope along the fence here. All right, now that I've shown you my orchard and garden, let me know what other fruit varieties we should grow in the comments below. Although our yard is pretty full, we're always open to growing new things. And if you're curious what I do with all the things I grow in my yard, subscribe for many more garden and orchard videos. I've also curated this playlist here that I think you would enjoy watching next. Bye for now!